It is Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by our friends over at Factor. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Tommy, along for the ride as well as we get going live a little bit early on this Tuesday because Mr. Plouffe has a very, very busy schedule today. You going to be okay?
I'm going to be great. I have all fun things, a lot of baseball. I'm doing the Twins pre and post. I'm doing a Twins show after this, maybe sneaking around to golf. It's going to be a busy day, but all good things, Chris.
Are you allowed to
thank you for everybody.
Yeah. Are you allowed to tell me who you're golfing with?
No.
I
mean, yeah, it's my friend Matthew. Come on. You always do this. You got to stop.
Okay. All right.
You're just jealous, I guess, right? Is that what it is?
I mean, it's because I never get invited. That's really what
that's a lie. That's a lie. You're always like, my back.
Well, that part's true. It's not golf. I just want to be invited. Like a dinner or a dip in the pool. That won't injure my back. Golf could be a problem.
Okay.
Start off with a little tip of the cap. The Tennessee Volunteers, congratulations on winning your first ever College World Series crown. Plouffe, I know it's not your favorite thing. I know you don't love, but the College World Series experience, I think this year has been great. The super regionals, some of them were amazing. And now Tennessee, they end up winning 60 games in a year. I think they're the first team to win 60 and the title since the Wichita State Shockers back in 1989. So good for them. They've been close the last few years.
No, it's amazing, and I do like their coach. I didn't watch any of this, but I have seen like snapshots of him on social media and kind of the intensity that he brings. I know they've been really pouring a lot into their program, so it's nice to be rewarded like that. And I'll tell you this: I've seen some college baseball this year, and the product is the level of play is pretty good for the most part, especially when you get to like this part of it.
Yeah, yep.
There's some guys that can really do it.
Yeah, and we'll have the draft less than a month away. It's like 3 weeks away. It happens down at Arlington now, so that's always cool stuff. All right, I am wearing a Giants cap. That's because San Francisco played its first home game since the passing of legendary Willie Mays last week. I thought a really nice touch. All on-field personnel yesterday had a chance to wear 24, and you could hear from the players pre- and post-game about how meaningful that was to them. That was really cool, didn't you think?
No, it was amazing to do that. I mean, you get to see it on Jackie Robinson Day. Guys are trying to do it with Roberto Clemente, but to do it for Willie Mays is just as fitting, I think.
Yeah, it was great. The Giants seem to be destined for, however, not a fairy tale ending. They were getting beat up by the Cubs pretty well, and then they started putting runs on the board, and then this happened. Yeah, the walk-off walk. They came back with a few runs there in the ninth. Drew Smiley was trying to slam the door shut. Didn't work out for the Northsiders. And you know what? Good for the Giants. It has been a struggle for them, particularly over the last month. But to be able to celebrate this on the day that they're honoring Willie Mays in front of the home fans, pretty good.
You want to get a win when you're doing something like that, honoring a legend, in your home ballpark. You want to get the W, and by any means possible. Great at bat by Flores, though. Not trying to do it himself. Sometimes you got to let what happens or let the pitcher give it to you.
And it was cool seeing all the 24s out there on the post-game show. They were interviewing Matt Chapman. He had the headset on, and Sean Estes, one of their analysts and former Giant, said, "Hey, did you notice that you ended up going 2 for 4 on the night with a home run? So you had another 24 making an appearance." That was pretty good stuff. And this came about a day after some very interesting comments from Blake Snell. And we've talked about him this year. It just hasn't gone right? He sends 10 days before the season, can't get ready to go, ends up getting injured, put on the injured list, comes back, throws a start, ends up back on the injured list. He had a rehab start that went an inning and 2/3 Sunday in Sacramento. Afterward, he told reporters, "I haven't felt like myself. It's just, we need you, we need you, we need you. It's not like, let's get him right and I have to deal with it. I want to be healthy and 100%, and I haven't been. Just been fighting and rushing to get back. That's my take." Now, apparently, Bob Melvin and Blake Snell spoke on the phone yesterday. Nobody spoke about it publicly, but they said, yeah, we're on the same page here. Does it sound like things are a little off on the relationship between Blake Snell and the Giants?
I don't know if the relationship is off, but I think, both sides have valid arguments here. Like, obviously, Blake is protecting his body. He understands it more than anyone. And when you go to a new organization, a new franchise, sometimes there's a learning curve in how a body works and how much time you need and how to get right. Like, if you've been with an organization long enough, the training staff will understand what to do and how you like to work. But when you come, you're a free agent, you sign somewhere, sometimes that takes some time. But I understand the Giants side of this. Like, they need him to be the guy that they signed. Like, time is of the essence for them. So they're like, yeah, we need you back pitching well. And Blake's saying, I'm not ready. So it's just both sides are right here. Like, Blake, he didn't sign early enough to get a full spring training, and it's kind of snowballed since then. You can blame whoever you want for that, whether it's the slow market, whether it's his decision, whatever it is. The facts are he just didn't really have ample time to get ready for this season. Kind of went into it, and he just hasn't been the same. So now he's saying, I need to be 100%. Like, he's thinking about himself going forward, his health. This is his job. But again, I totally understand it from the Giants saying, like, dude, we gave you a lot of money here, and we're in dire straits. Like, a lot of our pitching staff is hurt. We need you to be that guy to get us back in this race. So they got to work something out. They got to figure something out together, or else this is going to end in what? Like, he's got player options. Like, is there any way, if this year continues to go the way it does and he's not happy with, how he's being treated, does he want to come back, or does he say, I'll go test free agency again?
Well,
it's interesting.
What you said is right, is that I don't think either side is wrong here. From the Giants standpoint, they've got two healthy starters.
They need
Melvin can pencil in. It's Logan Webb and it's Jordan Hicks, and that is it. Harrison's down. Mason Wynn just went down. Robbie Ray did pitch the other day, so he's inching closer, but you don't want to rush Tommy John. You don't want to get him back. Like, it might take a little while longer.
You don't want to rush anyone that's not.
No, you don't.
Like, if you had your choice, it's just like I said, time is of the essence here for the Giants.
Well, they went through this song and dance last year. Basically, they were throwing 3 starters and having 2 bullpen days every time through the rotation. So you can understand, like, they've got a little bit of this rotation PTSD, if you will. What I think is really important, and I know that it sounded like Snell and Melvin talked on the phone, Sacramento and San Francisco are very close to each other. They got to go have a meal. They've got to all get together at some point very soon. Hell, even if it's a brunch, a morning, I don't give a shit if it's a game day. Melvin, Farhan, Blake Snell, all get together, sit down, and just talk it out. Blake, where are you right now? Like, what are you feeling? We do want to support you, because, like, that's important. You know how it is when there are players that don't feel like they're supported. In fact, he used really interesting words. I haven't felt like myself. It's just, we need you, we need you, we need you. When a player says that, that's pretty damning.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When you go to a new organization, like, you don't have those relationships. A guy that, hey, I'm going to go talk to this guy. I know that he's going to have my back, or like, I can be really transparent with him. Like, a lot of times you do feel guarded when you go to a new team. So I understand where Blake is coming from. He's like saying, I don't want to go back out there again, pitch the way that I've pitched because I'm not feeling good, and then possibly hurt myself, to a point where I won't be able to do my job anymore. Like, so, like, you have to think about that. It's not like he's hiding out and he's just saying these things because he doesn't want to pitch. He just wants to pitch, at close to 100%. I totally understand that. And again, like, the Giants, like, they're just kind of, they're desperate right now, and they want their investment to, bear some fruit for them, I guess.
Making it worse, when Snell has pitched at the big league level, it hasn't gone well. 6 starts, ERA of 9.5. 31 Ks in 21 2/3 innings. We'll keep our eye on that one. In the meantime, Boston Red Sox, they remain red hot. They have won 10 of their last 12. Last night, they were down 6-2 in the 8th. They put up a 4 spot. And then in the 9th, this happens with their future all-star.
And a 2-1. That's it. That's a base hit. Here comes Rafaela. Rounding. Trying to score. The throw home. He wins it. The Red Sox pull it out 7-6. They walk it off against Toronto.
Yeah, big night in Boston. It was evening where the entire Celtics team and organization was there and throwing out the first pitch and bringing the Larry O'Brien trophy for all long-suffering Boston fans who what have they gone like 5 years between actually celebrating world title? Oh man,
5 years. I feel like it's been less than that, but maybe you're right. I don't know.
Well, let's see here. Brady Super Bowl 53.
That was the last one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean there are 4-year-olds in New England who hadn't seen a title until the Celtics. Man, oh man. I don't know how they made it. Anyway, here's my question. Which of the following statements is correct? A, the Red Sox should add before the trade deadline. B, Toronto should sell a lot. Or C, both are accurate.
I'm going to go D. Yes, the Red Sox should add. Then I'll say not sell a lot for the Blue Jays, but definitely sell for the Blue Jays. I don't think they have to get rid of Vlad or Bo Bichette this year. I think that's what a lot of people are hoping for. They want to see these guys go somewhere else. I know Toronto fans still want to see that. But because they have them, under contract next year, you could wait even to the offseason, or you can just decide, in the offseason if we want to go out and say 2025 last hurrah for these guys. But I do think they should sell some of the relievers that have been good for them. I think I don't want to punt on the season just yet, but I feel like they're going to punt on the season, sell some of the guys that have some value. Maybe a Kikuchi goes somewhere. If you can find some value for, again, a couple of relievers in the pen, I think you got to do it. As far as Boston, I think they should add, but really, where are they going to add? Maybe into their rotation? They could add a depth arm, because they want to kick Pivetta back to the pen during the playoffs and have him go 4 innings, just shutting people out in high leverage situations. That's what he does. If Tristan Casas comes back, that kind of solves a problem for them. Maybe at second base, they don't have a ton of holes. So bullpen's always there. You can always add to your bullpen, although I don't know if they necessarily need to. They should try to improve their team at the margins, but again, I think both those statements are kind of true, but just in a little bit different. I think Blue Jays sell a little, Boston add a little. How about that?
That's fine. I don't really think Boston needs to add very much. You're right, because they have done a remarkable job. They have been extremely surprising, particularly when Giolito went down in spring training. I was like, man, where are they going to get these innings? Because they've lost a lot of starting pitching over the last couple of years and really haven't replaced it. They have guys that have been talented, right? Tanner Houck, Whitlock, who unfortunately is done for the year. But those are guys who are all in the same boat. They just hadn't been healthy enough to do it on a consistent basis. But now they have guys who have. I mean, Tanner Houck might end up starting the All-Star game. He's been that good. But if I'm Boston, and we know that their farm system, the talk has been, we're waiting on this farm system, they're coming too. And then they've already got a bunch of guys who are here and doing it on a nightly basis. So I don't think they need, but it is important that they contend all year long. If that means getting in as a wild card, which you and I both think they will, or at least being in meaningful games in September where these young guys can utilize that experience and use it to push forward in 2025. So I don't think they have to make a major trade. I'm with you. Maybe something small. I'm opposite. What do you got?
I'm just thinking, what can they do? A lot of teams will add a great defensive outfielder that maybe will pinch run or something like that, but they're kind of locked up in the outfield. Guys that can play good ball out there. You almost have too many guys out there. You got Duran, you got Rafaela, you got Abreu, you got Tyler O'Neill. You don't need that. So bench bat. Snyder. I don't know. They're kind of good.
Right. They are good. So that takes me to Toronto, and this is where you and I differ. They need to do more than just get rid of guys who are about to walk. I really think they have to look at Chris Bassett. That is a guy that could get them.
That's the thing. If you start opening the floodgates a little bit, it's all gone. You can't just say, let's move one of these guys. You got to get it. That's done. Then you got to strip it down to the studs.
Well, then you decide which one you really want between Bo and Vladdy. And Bo, you would be selling very low. Last 170 games, he has been an average baseball player at best. Vladdy, different story. We saw what he did last night. He hit one frickin' back to Toronto. His peripherals have been outstanding. And now he's getting warm. Now the rest of the stuff that is meaningful, that's real, it's pretty impressive. Hey, I need you to talk for 10 seconds. I got to plug in my computer. It's about to die. So make one last point.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Blue Jays, if you decide to go that route, again, like selling a Bassett, you have a lot of these pitchers kind of locked up. I think you just have to go completely there, because if you start selling pieces, then you're caught in the middle. That's just where you don't want to be as a franchise. The farm system isn't great there. I think it's ranked 24th right now, so whatever that means. But you just don't want to be caught in the middle. That's what I think. And you have some contracts that you keep, and then you try to just go through via free agency. I don't really think that works. You got to have all the things working together at once. So if you decide to go big and start to sell some of these starting pitchers that you have locked up, I think that means that signals to everybody that you just, again, break it all down.
All right.
But you don't think they could just say let's see what happens in 2025?
No, because something's wrong. I don't know what it is. I say it all the time. People are like, "Oh, the chemistry's bad." I don't know. I'm not around them on a daily basis. The guys I do know there are not bad guys at all. It just hasn't worked. It has not worked. There are people that want Atkins and Shapiro gone and stop being the decision makers up there. This is a team that I predicted would make the World Series, and it's gone terribly wrong. Yeah, I did. I had them losing to the Atlanta Braves. Didn't go well for me. My last two Blue Jays predictions were Alek Manoah winning the Cy Young in 23 and the Blue Jays winning the pennant in 24. I am done. I love our people of the North. I love Canada. I can't talk about you anymore. I can't. But what I can talk about is Booking.com, because they're helping out today's episode of Baseball Today. It's Booking.com. It's Booking.yeah. With summer travel heating up, especially with baseball games, it's time to explore those U.S. cities you always secretly wanted to learn a little bit more about. Yeah, we're talking about your arch rival cities. So with hotels and bed and breakfast and vacation rentals and resorts and so much more right at your fingertips, Booking.com, you might just find the perfect stay. And it even could be in that one baseball city you're like, oh, I'm never going to visit that place. But guess what? You'll want to. I used to love taking the boys when they were younger. They're grown now. But when we were younger, we'd take them to new ballparks and they'd be like, I'm checking that one off the list. And you could stay at all these great places and still walk around the city and make baseball maybe the center point of your trip, but go see what everything else has to offer in all these amazing cities. Or, I'm from Cleveland, so why wouldn't I just hook it up through Booking.com, go find my place where I can stay, and we're in a great situation. So you could go get hotels that overlook stadiums to family-friendly resorts. Booking.com has so many choices for you across the U.S. for summer travel during the baseball season. So the right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city. Yes, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com, an official accommodations partner of Major League Baseball, on their site or in the Booking.com app today. All right. Monday did not start very well for the San Diego Padres, which is a great city and a great ballpark. So go check it out on Booking.com. Fernando Tatis ended up on the injured list. He's been dealing with a little something. They don't think it's going to be a major stay, but they wanted to nip in the bud before it got too nasty. Well, Monday evening.
Profar hits it towards right center field. Long run for Thomas. They're going to get there. Up and over. 2-run score. And the Padres walk it off.
Happy, man. Just locked in for that at bat. Just when they walk Louis right there, I felt like disrespected.
Yeah, what he's saying is they walked a rise in order to pitch to him. That does happen. You guys get pissed off even if they're going to walk a 2-time batting champion?
I know he said disrespect, and I guess you can use that word, but more I feel like when that happens in front of you, you're just like, okay, I get the chance. It's like the best case scenario. It's amazing, dude. So I've been there many times, and it's fun. I like that.
I know his OPS has fallen below 9, but it should be so close. Okay, I can tell you, I know a lot of Padres fans. They were like, "We brought him back. Are you kidding me?" Yeah. I was like, "He did fine last year, and you guys paid him $1 million." Well, guess what? This is the jerks in Profar when we used to hear about him being the #1 prospect in the Rangers organization that we thought we were going to see.
Yeah, no, he's been incredible this year. Obviously, the on-base percentage still at 409. I think that's the biggest difference when you're talking about Jerkson. Being able to work counts, get into better counts. And all of it stems from that. Getting the ball over in the middle of the plate and then putting the barrel on it. He's been a godsend for them. Like you said, $1 million putting up 2 WAR already this season. That's like almost a third of his career WAR.
Jeez.
Like the epitome of.
Well, it's just interesting would that be if he ends up making the All-Star team in Texas? Yeah. The place where it was supposed to all be flowers and roses and beautiful smells and fragrances, and it just didn't work out there. So give me one other guy that could follow along those lines where he was supposed to be the next big thing for a team, didn't work out. Maybe it hasn't worked out yet, but you still believe in him.
I think there's a bunch of names you could go with. You could talk about maybe Joe who showed signs of a breakout with the Angels. We saw a little bit of the breakout in Seattle. Then he gets hurt or does it to himself. They end up shipping him off to Atlanta. And we know what Atlanta does, when they get guys. I think they have a really good support system there. I think he'll get better being around guys like Matt Olson and Austin Riley and Acuna. Like, he'll just get better just being around those guys. So I 100% can see an all-star season for Jared Kelenic. He's still very, very young, Chris, and I think he's got a lot of good ball left in him.
Yeah, that was the guy who, when he was traded by the Mets, people were like, you're going to rue the day in New York, and it ended up being in the Diaz and Cano trade. Yeah. And then when he came up to Seattle, I remember we were doing this show when he debuted, and I was like, that is a major leaguer. Just the way he struts.
I remember you said that.
Yep, and I was a firm believer in it. He's starting to do better. He has taken over the leadoff role down there in Atlanta. I'm rooting for him. Hopefully he'll be able to turn the corner. One other guy, as I kind of search this out, he's going to pitch tomorrow in Detroit. Spencer Turnbull. He was never supposed to be like a top 10 prospect, but he was a second-round pick of the Tigers a decade ago. And one year he went 3-17. He led the major leagues in losses. He did come back from arm surgery, and he ended up throwing a no-hitter, but he had a terrible divorce from the franchise. It didn't go well. They DFA'd him. He got picked up by Philadelphia, and you're like, the guy's 31 years old. What's he going to do? Well, he's pitched extremely well, and now Taijuan Walker has ended up back on the injured list, and now Turnbull is going to get a chance to start in Detroit tomorrow. Watch that one, because he had some really interesting comments. You're like, well, do you have any warm and fuzzy memories? He's like, nope. Nope. Didn't go here. Didn't go well here. Hated it. And now he's got an ERA under 3. He's going to be one of those guys who's going to be a huge, huge arm no matter what role he's playing come playoff time. And they've got 4 starters ahead of him. But you use that arm out of the bullpen, it's a big deal. He's found his way. Good
Gavin Lux, Joey Bart, a couple other names.
Yeah, I mean, Lux is a guy who they're still waiting on. There's a lot of Dodger fans that want to move on from him.
I think if they go and acquire a shortstop, he'll probably be part of the package.
That's what I would guess. That's what I would guess. Okay, this is just kind of a quick fun one. Would you rather have been part of a historic 1-3-5 triple play that Aaron Nola started for Philadelphia yesterday in Detroit? It's the first one we've seen in 95 years. Or would you rather hit a moonshot like Ellie De La Cruz did onto the steamboat in Cincinnati?
What does our banner say over here? Ellie hits a shipped. I just noticed that.
No, don't fix it now, Rourke.
Don't fix it. It's too good. Chris, this might be the easiest question you've ever asked me. I don't care about being in a triple play whatsoever. I don't care how historic it is or how long it's been since it's happened. If I could hit a ball like Ellie De La Cruz on top of the steamboat, I would love to do that. I was actually looking at my max exit velo in my career that's tracked. I might have had one that was harder than it back in the day, but I have 110.7 is my hardest exit velo. Ellie De La Cruz does that on a nightly basis. So to be able to hit the ball like him and have that leverage, I think that's kind of like my dream, to be honest with you, especially center field.
Yeah, it looks cool. I knew this was an easy question for you. You had no interest in being part of something that happens once a century?
No, I don't care. I do love that Matt Vierling was the guy that hit the ball because he's just kind of like in all the highlights. I always see him in highlights.
That the reason that I'm not pumped up about that triple play, usually I'm like, oh, that's cool. It was the slowest developing triple play in the history of sport. Everything from the exit velo to Nola's catch to the lob to first to the lob.
What was the runner on third doing right there?
I think that was McKinstry, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
what happened was he Nola kind of caught it with his back to him, and I think he thought it was a one hopper. That's what I thought. I think.
It's just, I mean, we've seen some bad base run. That's bad base running, number one. We saw that. We didn't even talk about Paul DeJong in the White Sox game.
Oh, God.
Like, oh, my gosh.
Horrible. All right. You know what we can have, what we can talk about? MOBA Globes. But maybe somebody like my father-in-law, we have Father's Day, and then we've got his birthday right around the corner. So it's always a time to get like MOBA globes, right? They're rotating globes. They're constantly in motion. They're powered by ambient light. Hidden magnets provide movement, so batteries and no messy cords. It's just this cool stand. It's sensational. Go put it on your windowsill. Go put it somewhere where it can get to that ambient light and do its thing, right? It's available in over 40 designs, including sports and world maps and outer space and famous artwork and much more. And it's an official MLB partner, so MOBA is proud to present the unique baseball memorabilia. It's perfect for both the classic baseball collectibles enthusiasts and devoted fans. And all 30 teams on their way. As you can see, I've got my Guardians one, and I'm feeling good. This thing just keeps spinning and spinning, and I keep dreaming about that time in October where I can raise this globe and say, we've done it. And also, I want you to enjoy 10% off all officially licensed MLB MOBA globes when you use the code BT10. That is B as in boy, T as in Tom, the number 10. Go order your globes now with the link in the description. You'll feel better. It just kind of settles you down. Just hold it.
You know what I felt like when I was moving the globe with my hand? I felt like Sauron and Isengard. Just
good deception.
You know what I'm talking about?
No idea.
Josh Naylor whacks one down the line.
Good.
And good.
Yep. All right. Finally, Dan Rourke is showing the video here to us. The catch by the dude in Baltimore when Josh Naylor hit a ball about 1,000 feet
down the
foul.
Line
what
foul.
Most impressed you about this catch?
I mean, everything. It's an incredible catch. One-handed. I don't even know what's in his other hand. Is that some sort of beverage?
Yeah, it looks like
cell
beer,
phone.
Cell phone, and then hat as he's taking a bow.
Well, he must have this is it. Okay, so first of all, you're up in like a non-foul ball area. That's not like a typical foul ball area. So he's got a beer in one hand, cell phone in the other. So as it's coming to him, he realizes, hey, this is ahead of my way. He switches, puts both the cell phone and his drink in one hand, and then the one-handed grab, shades on, brim down. I mean, everything about this is just legit. Like even the curtain call, he understands, like, wow, I just did something really cool. All eyes are on me because literally nobody is around him. The background of the warehouse in the back, like this is kind of like an iconic video. Like that's a good one, Chris.
So let me ask you a quick question. What was he doing there?
There's a lot of things he could have been doing. Sometimes you get away from people because you don't want to be around people. Sometimes you might be, doing something you're not supposed to be doing. So that's why you're getting away from people. I don't know what he was doing up there. Maybe he just wanted some peace and quiet, some tranquility.
Well, why
now all eyes are on him?
Ball game? Why go to a ball game if you wanted some peace and tranquility?
That happens at every ball game. When there's not a packed house, you always see one guy shifting away from the crowd and going and sitting by himself. And I can relate. I can. Like I feel like I would do that.
Okay. Yeah, it was an impressive catch. I didn't even see it. We were watching the Cleveland feed. They did not take a shot of where the foul ball went. There's times where I'm yelling at the team. I'm like, guys, show me at least where the foul ball went. Was it 5 rows to the right? Was it? And then we never would have seen this if it hadn't been for our social media channels. So
it's a great catch.
Great catch. We are wrapped up. I don't know what time we're going tomorrow. Probably 12:15 Eastern, if not earlier.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, no, for sure. We can do 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's make a date of 12 right now.
Let's do it.
Awesome. I know you got busy work. Go enjoy your golf. Go enjoy your baseball. Keep doing your thing. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our amazing intern, Tommy, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. We will see you Wednesday on Baseball Today, presented to you by Factor.